If you're a brand new gardener, there's a real temptation to kind of dive right in, especially when it comes to buying seeds or buying plants. But I'm going to caution you against this, okay? I think before you start actually gardening, it's really important to sit down with yourself and think about why exactly you're gardening, and not just the surface level, oh, well, I like plants kind of why. I mean, like, your really deep core why for what is bringing you to gardening in the first place and what you hope to get out of it. Because I think without that, you might end up very frustrated or disappointed in your gardening, and you might not have the drive to continue on your gardening journey. I think completely forgoing figuring out why you're gardening is going to set you up for failure. So today what we're going to talk about is not only how to figure out your why, but I'm also going to give you kind of some examples of different things to kind of get your mind working and get you going in that direction. If you're new here, hi, I'm Rachel, and this is Your First Year Gardening. This is a free YouTube course, and if you are needing to catch up on videos or you want to see all the videos together in one place, all of that will be available as a single course, and I will link all of that in the description so that you don't miss a thing. So if you skip this step of figuring out your why for your gardening at a deep level, you are going to kind of miss out on actually creating a garden that meets your goals. You might still end up with a very beautiful garden, but you might still feel not very satisfied by it and not really know why if you don't take this time right now to figure out what is drawing you to gardening and what you hope to get out of it. Understanding your why is also going to make all of the other decisions that we're going to make throughout this course much, much easier. It's going to be very clear to you which direction you need to go in, and then all these other decisions are going to fall into place a lot easier. Things like what exactly you're going to plant in your garden, how much space you're going to need, what sort of time and money investment you're willing to make into your garden. All of these are questions that can be partially answered by your main why. If you haven't actually thought about this yet, you might feel kind of stuck. I know when somebody asks me a question like this, I'll get very deer in the headlights about it, and I'll be like, oh my God, my brain is just now suddenly entirely blank. So here are maybe some common reasons that you might be gardening to kind of help jog your thoughts and help get you in that space. So the first thing is, a lot of people like me garden for food. Maybe you just want something tasty to eat. Maybe you are looking to save a little bit of money at the grocery store, things like that. And then there's kind of what people consider to be the opposite side of the spectrum, which is gardening simply for having a beautiful space. I think food plants can be very beautiful, so I don't think they're fully separate. But if your goal is beauty, then you're going to be making different decisions than if your goal is food. Maybe your goal is food, but it's even more than that. Maybe it's your first step towards self-sufficiency or homesteading or something like that. Or maybe your why is something about connecting to nature or connecting to community or connecting to your past or people in your life who have been gardeners. These sorts of long-term connections with our shared humanity as a past or something like that. Whatever your reason is, whatever your goal is, I want to emphasize that there is no wrong answer here. There is only the most honest answer for yourself. And I encourage you to actually be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself here, then everything is going to pile up and be worse later on. So once you kind of have that initial why, I want you to go ahead and then ask yourself why again. And I don't mean, oh, come up with a totally new goal. I mean, dig deeper into that first why, because there are going to be layers. We are peeling you back like an onion. So when I was doing this, I started with my goal is to grow as much of my own food as possible. And then the why for that, like why do I want to grow as much of my own food as possible? It's because I want to be less reliant on global food systems. Around the time that I was thinking about this, it was, right after COVID, and it was very clear that the global food systems are, breakable. They can fail. And so I wanted to start my journey towards building a little bit of that self-sufficiency. While also, you know, in the meantime, I'm saving money at the grocery store. So I'm kind of in between right there. And then when I ask another why here, I am also worried about the impact of large-scale farming on the planet. And I would like to be part of a solution to that. And the little bit that I can do right now is growing my own food, taking some of the pressure off of that system, making that system less relevant in my own little way. So digging deeper into that is what is informing a lot of the decisions that I make in my gardening. Additionally, one more little why that I have here is I do actually love cooking from scratch. It's very fulfilling to me, and it's even more fulfilling to me when I can take something that I have nurtured and grown from seed and make it into a beautiful dinner for myself and for my friends. And that is a whole nother dimension that I want to consider when I'm making decisions about what I'm planting, how I'm planting it, etc. So if you want to do this exercise for yourself, of course, like I mentioned before, you can grab the guided gardening planner off of my website, which is linked below, and fill out the little worksheet. Or you can just do this on a piece of notebook paper somewhere safe where you can continue to reference back to it throughout this course. Either way, what I want you to do is start with your surface level why, and then keep asking yourself, okay, why do I want that? Okay, why do I want that? Until you feel like you've really reached the most basic, deep version of why you are starting to garden. And go ahead and write that down, put that somewhere where you're not going to lose it. And as we go through the rest of this course, we will continually be referencing back to this, and this is going to inform a lot of what we do. All right, so once you've got all of that down, you feel good about it, I'm going to invite you to join me in the next lesson where we're going to talk about how to make sure that your garden actually aligns with your tastes, because believe it or not, sometimes people don't consider what they actually like when they are planning what they're going to plant in their garden. So meet me in the next lesson for that. And if you are new here, then make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any of the lessons. And if you want to be part of the course, I will make all those links available down below. I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening.